Faye and the Enchanted Mountains. Once upon a time, nestled high in the Enchanted Mountains, there lived a little girl named Faye. Faye was not an ordinary girl. She had magical talents that shone as bright as the stars. Her sparkling blue eyes could see things hidden from most, and her laughter could make the flowers bloom. Faye lived with her grandmother, Granny Willow, in a cozy cottage, surrounded by a vibrant garden. The mountains around them were full of wonders, singing streams, whispering winds, and glowing flowers that only bloomed under the moonlight. One sunny morning, as Faye was tending to the flowers, she noticed something unusual. A small, glittering path had appeared at the edge of the garden, leading deep into the forest. Curious and brave, Faye decided to follow it. She knew the mountains were full of magic, and her heart raced with excitement. As Faye walked along the glittering path, she came upon a talking squirrel named Nutty. And quat. "Hello, Faye." And quat. Squeaked Nutty. And quat. "The Forest Queen has been waiting for you. She needs your help." And quat. Faye was surprised but intrigued. And quat. "What can I do to help?" And quat. She asked. And quat. "The Enchanted Mountains are losing their magic." And quat. Nutty explained. And quat. "The crystal heart at the mountain's peak, which keeps everything alive and magical, is dimming. Only someone with a pure heart and magical talent can reignite it." And quat. Faye nodded with determination. She knew she had to try. With Nutty leading the way, they journeyed through the forest. Along the way, they met many magical creatures, a family of glowing fireflies, a wise old owl, and even a gentle giant who gave them a ride across a bubbling brook. After a long trek, they reached the peak of the highest mountain. There, in a hidden cave, was the crystal heart. It was beautiful but dim, barely glowing. Faye approached it slowly, her hands tingling with excitement and a bit of fear. Granny Willow had always told her that true magic came from the heart. Remembering this, Faye closed her eyes and thought of all the things she loved: the colorful flowers in her garden, the songs of the birds, the laughter of the streams, and the warm hugs from Granny Willow. Her heart filled with love and joy. When she opened her eyes, Faye placed her hands on the crystal heart. A soft glow began to grow, spreading warmth through the cave. The heart started to shine brighter and brighter until it burst into a dazzling light that filled the mountains. The flowers outside bloomed more vibrantly, the streams sang louder, and the whole forest seemed to sparkle. The magic of the mountains had returned. The Forest Queen appeared, graceful and kind, with a crown of flowers. And quat. "Thank you, Faye." And quat. She said with a smile. And quat. "You have saved our home. Your love and magic have restored the crystal heart." And quat. Faye blushed, feeling proud and happy. Nutty and the other creatures cheered, and they all celebrated with a joyful dance under the stars. From that day on, Faye was known as the guardian of the Enchanted Mountains. She continued to live happily in the cozy cottage with Granny Willow, surrounded by the beauty and magic she helped protect. And every time she looked at the glowing mountains, she remembered the day she discovered the true power of a loving heart. And so, the Enchanted Mountains flourished, their magic as vibrant as ever, all thanks to a little girl named Faye and the magic within her. Chapter 2. Faye and the Mysterious Melody. Chapter 2. A few weeks had passed since Faye had restored the magic to the enchanted mountains. Life had returned to its magical normalcy, and Faye spent her days exploring the mountains, playing with the animals, and helping Granny Willow tend to their beautiful garden. One morning, as Faye was picking berries near the edge of the forest, she heard a faint, beautiful melody drifting through the air. It was unlike anything she had ever heard before, soft and enchanting, yet carrying a hint of sadness. Curious, Faye followed the sound deeper into the forest, her magical senses tingling with excitement. As she ventured further, the trees grew taller and the air cooler. The melody became clearer, and Faye soon found herself at the entrance of a small, hidden glen. In the center of the glen stood a large, shimmering tree with silver leaves. At the base of the tree sat a young boy with golden hair, playing a crystal flute. His music was mesmerizing, and the leaves of the tree seemed to dance along with the tune. Faye approached cautiously, not wanting to disturb the boy. But as she drew nearer, the boy noticed her and stopped playing. The glen fell silent, and the tree's leaves settled. And quat, hello, and quat. Faye greeted softly. And quat, I'm Faye. Your music is beautiful. I've never heard anything like it before. And quat. The boy smiled shyly. And quat, I'm Elian. And quat. He replied. And quat, thank you. This tree, the silver tree, amplifies the emotions in my music. But lately, it's been reflecting my sadness. And quat. Faye sat down beside him, curious. And quat. Why are you sad, Elian? And quat. Elian sighed and looked up at the shimmering leaves. And quat. I come from a village on the other side of the mountains. My people and I are connected to the silver tree, and it has been our source of joy and strength for generations. But recently, the silver tree's leaves have started to fade, and our village is losing its happiness. I fear that something is wrong with the tree, and I don't know how to fix it. And quat. Faye felt a pang of sympathy. She knew what it was like to see something magical fade. And quat. Maybe I can help. And quat. She offered. And quat. I have a bit of magic, and sometimes it helps to have a fresh perspective. And quat. Elian's eyes brightened with hope. And quat. Would you? That would be wonderful. And quat. The two children stood up and walked around the silver tree, examining its shimmering bark and silvery leaves. Faye noticed that some leaves had lost their shine, turning a dull gray. She placed her hand on the tree and closed her eyes, trying to sense its energy. Suddenly, she felt a gentle pulse, like a heartbeat. It was faint but steady. Faye opened her eyes and looked at Elian. And quat. The tree is alive, but it's weak. It needs something that it's missing. And quat. Elian thought for a moment. And quat. In our village, we have a legend about the silver tree. It is said that the tree is nourished by the laughter and joy of those who visit it. But lately, with the tree's decline, fewer people have been visiting. And there's been less joy. And quat. Faye nodded, understanding. And quat. Then we need to bring joy back to the tree and your village. But how? And quat. Elian smiled, a spark of excitement in his eyes. And quat. There's an ancient song that our elders used to sing, a song of joy and celebration. It's been forgotten over time, but if we could remember it and sing it together, maybe it would help. And quat. Faye grinned. And quat. Let's find that song. And quote. Together, they set off to Elian's village. It was a quaint place, nestled in a valley surrounded by colorful flowers and chirping birds. But Faye noticed that the people looked tired and worried. The once vibrant houses were quiet, and there was a heavy air of sadness. Elian gathered the villagers and explained their plan. At first, the villagers were skeptical. They hadn't heard the song in years, and many had forgotten the words. But Faye encouraged them, her enthusiasm infectious. And quote, even if we don't remember every word, we can sing from our hearts. The silver tree will feel our joy. And quote. The villagers agreed, and with Faye and Elian leading him, they began to hum and sing the old tune. The melody started softly, hesitant, but as they continued, the villagers began to remember more. They sang louder, their voices blending in harmony. The air filled with the sweet, joyful melody. As the song reached its peak, a miraculous thing happened. The silver tree's leaves started to shimmer brightly, one by one. The gray leaves turned silver again, reflecting the sunlight. The whole tree glowed, and a wave of warmth spread throughout the village. The villagers felt the change immediately. They laughed and hugged each other, their spirits lifted. The flowers in the valley bloomed brighter, and the air filled with the sweet scent of blossoms. Faye and Elian stood beneath the silver tree, grinning with joy. The tree was radiant, its leaves sparkling in the sunlight. Faye knew that the magic of the tree and the joy of the villagers had been restored. And quote. Thank you, Faye. And quote. Elian said, his eyes shining. And quote. You helped us remember the joy in our hearts. And quote. Faye beamed. And quote. It was your music and your villagers' love that brought the silver tree back to life. I'm just glad I could help. And quote. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the valley, Faye knew she had made new friends and helped another magical part of the mountains flourish. She waved goodbye to Elian and the villagers, promising to visit again. With her heart full of happiness and a new song in her heart, Faye returned home, knowing that the enchanted mountains held many more adventures and mysteries to discover. The end of Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Faye and the Whispering Stones. A few days after her adventure with Elian and the Silver Tree, Faye was exploring a new part of the Enchanted Mountains she hadn't visited before. The summer sun was warm, and a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of wildflowers. Faye felt a thrill of excitement. Every corner of the mountains held a new mystery. And today, she was determined to uncover another. As she wandered through a lush meadow, she came across a rocky hillside. The rocks were unusual, gleaming with a strange, iridescent sheen. Drawn to their beauty, Faye approached and noticed that some of the stones had intricate symbols carved into them, glowing faintly. Intrigued, Faye touched one of the stones. Suddenly, she heard a faint whispering, like voices speaking from far away. She pulled her hand back in surprise, but her curiosity quickly got the better of her. Faye listened closely, but the whispers were too quiet to understand. Determined to unravel the mystery, Faye decided to visit Granny Willow, who knew everything about the magical history of the mountains. She hurried back to their cozy cottage and found her grandmother tending to the garden. And quote, Granny Willow, I found some strange stones on the hillside, and quote. Faye said, her eyes wide with excitement. And quote. They have symbols on them, and When I touched one, I heard whispers. Do you know what they are? And quote. Granny Willow's eyes twinkled with recognition. And quote. Ah, you've discovered the whispering stones, my dear, and quote. She said. And quote. They are ancient stones imbued with the memories and voices of the mountain's spirits. It's said that these stones contain the wisdom of ages, but only those with a pure heart and true courage can understand their messages. And quote. Faye's eyes sparkled with excitement. And quote. How can I understand them, Granny? I want to hear what they have to say. And quote. Granny Willow smiled warmly. And quote. The whispering stones can only be understood when the listener is calm and focused. You must open your heart and mind, and the stones will share their secrets with you. End quote. With this advice, Faye returned to the hillside. She sat down among the stones, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. She let the sounds of the mountains, the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, and the distant waterfalls wash over her. Gradually, she felt a sense of peace and clarity. When she touched the stone again, the whispers became clearer. It was as if the voices were coming from a great distance, yet she could understand them perfectly. And quote. We are the voices of the mountains. Past. And quote. The whispers began. And quote. Long ago, these mountains were home to a great many magical beings. The whispering stones hold the memories of our joys and sorrows, our lessons and stories. And quote. Faye listened intently as the stones continued to share their tales. They spoke of ancient creatures that once roamed the peaks, of brave heroes who protected the magical realm, and of a time when the mountains were alive with vibrant magic. They also spoke of a great challenge that threatened to engulf the mountains in darkness, a challenge that had been thwarted by the courage and unity of the mountain's inhabitants. As the whispers continued, Faye felt a deep connection with the history of the mountains. She realized that the whispering stones were not just relics of the past. They were a bridge between the present and the ancient magic that still flowed through the mountains. The stones also shared a warning. A shadow was stirring in a hidden valley, threatening the balance of magic in the enchanted mountains. This shadow could only be faced by someone with a pure heart and the courage to confront it. Faye's heart pounded with a mix of fear and determination. She knew she had to find this hidden valley and confront the shadow. The mountains had given her so much, and she couldn't let them fall into darkness. The whispers faded, and Faye opened her eyes, feeling a deep resolve. She thanked the whispering stones for their guidance and stood up. She had a new mission: to protect the magic of the mountains and face the shadow lurking in the hidden valley. As she made her way back to the cottage, Faye felt a newfound sense of purpose. The enchanted mountains were full of wonders, but they also held dangers that needed to be faced. With Granny Willow's wisdom and her own magical talents, Faye was ready to embark on this new adventure. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but with the strength of the mountain's magic and the courage in her heart, she was determined to protect the place she loved. And with the sun setting behind the peaks, casting a golden glow over the land, Faye prepared for her next great adventure, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead. The end of Chapter 3. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Faye and the Hidden Valley. The morning after her encounter with the Whispering Stones, Faye woke up with a renewed sense of purpose. The whisper of the stones had warned her about a shadow lurking in a hidden valley, and she knew she had to find it and protect the enchanted mountains from any threat. Granny Willow, sensing Faye's determination, helped her prepare for the journey by packing a small satchel with food, a warm cloak, and a vial of sparkling water from the enchanted spring in the garden. And quote, "Remember, my dear," and quote, Granny Willow advised, and quote, "the magic in these mountains responds to love and bravery. Trust your instincts and stay true to your heart. The magic will guide you." And quote. With a hug and a wave, Faye set off. She decided to start her search near the place where she had found the whispering stones. As she walked, she felt the familiar energy of the mountains pulsing around her, and her heart swelled with the beauty and magic of her home. After a few hours, Faye arrived at the rocky hillside where the whispering stones lay. She paused to catch her breath and let her mind settle. The stones had mentioned a hidden valley, but they hadn't given specific directions. Faye knew she would have to rely on her magical senses to find it. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, focusing on the energy around her. The mountain air was crisp and cool, filled with the scent of pine and wildflowers. She let her mind wander, tuning into the subtle vibrations of the land. Suddenly, she felt a faint pull, like a gentle tugging at her heart, urging her to the east. Opening her eyes, Faye smiled. She had a direction. She followed the pull, walking through dense woods and across babbling brooks. The path was not easy. Thorny bushes scratched her arms, and uneven ground made the journey slow, but Faye pressed on, her resolve unwavering. After a long trek, she reached a narrow, winding trail that led between two towering cliffs. The air grew cooler, and a sense of quiet anticipation filled the space. Faye felt a shiver of excitement. She was close. The trail opened up into a breathtaking valley, hidden away from the rest of the mountains. The valley was filled with lush greenery, vibrant flowers, and a sparkling stream that wound through the center. It was beautiful, but something felt off. A strange, dark mist lingered at the far end of the valley, swirling ominously. As Faye stepped into the valley, the temperature dropped, and the air grew heavy. She approached the edge of the mist, her heart pounding. She could sense the shadow's presence, an eerie, unsettling energy that made her skin prickle. Gathering her courage, Faye stepped closer. Suddenly, the mist swirled and parted, revealing a tall, cloaked figure with glowing red eyes. The figure's presence exuded a cold, dark aura. Faye took a step back, instinctively clutching the vial of enchanted water Granny Willow had given her. And quote, "Who are you?" and quote, Faye called out, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The figure's voice was cold and hollow. And quote, "I am the Shadow Keeper, a guardian of this valley. Long ago, I was tasked with protecting a powerful source of magic hidden here. But over time, the magic became corrupted. And so did I now. I seek to spread this darkness across the enchanted mountains." And quote. Faye's eyes widened. She knew she couldn't let that happen. And quote, "The magic of these mountains is meant to be a source of life and joy, not darkness." And quote. She said firmly. And quote, "I won't let you corrupt it." And quote. The Shadow Keeper laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the valley. And quote. "And what can a mere child do to stop me?" And quote. Faye felt a surge of determination. She remembered Granny Willow's words and the Whispering Stone's stories of courage and unity. She also remembered the power of love and joy that had revived the silver tree. Drawing strength from these memories, she stood tall. And quote, "I may be young, and quote," Faye declared, and quote, "but I have the love and magic of these mountains within me, and I believe in the power of light over darkness." And quote. With that, she uncorked the vial of enchanted water and flung its sparkling contents toward the Shadow Keeper. The water shone brightly, casting a warm, golden light as it splashed onto the shadowy figure. The darkness recoiled, and the Shadow Keeper let out a cry of pain and surprise. As the light spread, the mist began to lift, revealing the true beauty of the valley. The flowers grew brighter, and the stream sparkled more clearly. The Shadow Keeper staggered, the dark aura flickering. Faye stepped forward, her voice gentle yet strong. And quote, "You don't have to stay in the darkness. The magic of this valley can be pure again, if you let go of the corruption." And quote. For a moment, the Shadow Keeper hesitated. The red glow in their eyes dimmed, and Faye thought she saw a glimmer of something human in their expression. But then the figure shook its head, the darkness surging back. And quote, "It's too late for me," and quote, they whispered. And quote, "But you can still save this place." And quote. With a final, echoing cry, the Shadow Keeper dissolved into the air, the last remnants of the dark mist disappearing with them. The valley was bathed in a soft, golden light, and a feeling of peace settled over the land. Faye stood alone in the quiet valley, the echo of the Shadow Keeper's words lingering in her mind. She felt a mix of sadness and relief. The shadow was gone, but the darkness had once been a part of the valley's magic. Now, it was up to her to ensure that the valley, and the entire Enchanted Mountains, remained a place of light and joy. As she walked back through the now clear valley, Faye felt a deep sense of accomplishment. She had faced the shadow and protected the mountains she loved. But she also knew her journey was far from over. There were still mysteries to uncover and magic to nurture. With the sun setting behind her, casting a warm glow over the peaks, Faye returned home, ready for whatever the future held. She had proven to herself that even a small girl with a big heart could make a difference. The end of Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. Faye and the Secret of the Crystal Cavern. The days following her adventure in the Hidden Valley were peaceful. Faye spent her time exploring the meadows and forests, visiting her friends in the village, and learning more about the Enchanted Mountains from Granny Willow. But despite the tranquility, a new curiosity had taken root in her heart. The Whispering Stones had mentioned many secrets hidden within the mountains, and Faye felt there was still much more to discover. One evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and orange, Granny Willow shared a story with Faye about the Crystal Cavern, a legendary place said to hold the heart of the mountain's magic. According to the legend, the cavern was hidden deep within the mountains and protected by powerful enchantments. It was said that only those who were truly worthy could find and enter it. Faye listened, captivated. The idea of a place filled with pure, untamed magic fascinated her. And quote, "Granny, do you think I could find the Crystal Cavern?" And quote, she asked, her eyes shining with excitement. Granny Willow smiled knowingly. And quote, "The Crystal Cavern reveals itself to those who are ready, Faye. If you feel called to it, perhaps it is time for you to seek it out. But remember, it is not just the magic of the cavern that matters, but also the lessons it can teach. And quote. That night, as Faye lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the crystal cavern. The mountains had taught her so much already, and she felt ready to face whatever challenges might come her way. The next morning, with Granny Willow's blessing and a small satchel of provisions, Faye set out on a new journey. As she walked, Faye thought about all the magical places she had visited, the Silver Tree, the Hidden Valley, the Whispering Stones. She wondered what secrets the crystal cavern might hold and how they might connect to everything she had learned so far. After a few hours of walking, Faye arrived at a dense forest that she had never explored before. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves whispering in the breeze. She felt a faint pull, similar to what she had felt when seeking the Hidden Valley. Trusting her instincts, she followed the sensation deeper into the woods. The forest grew darker as she ventured further, the canopy above blocking out much of the sunlight. Despite the dimness, Faye felt a warm, comforting presence around her, as if the forest itself was guiding her. After what felt like hours, she stumbled upon a small clearing with a large, moss-covered boulder in the center. Curious, Faye approached the boulder. As she touched its cool surface, she noticed a faint shimmer of light at its base. Kneeling down, she brushed away the moss and dirt, revealing a small, crystal-clear stream flowing from beneath the boulder. The water sparkled with an ethereal light, casting rainbow reflections around the clearing. Faye cupped her hands and took a sip of the water. It tasted fresh and pure, filling her with a sense of calm and clarity. As she drank, the ground beneath her feet began to tremble. She stood up quickly, watching in awe as the boulder slowly rolled to the side, revealing a narrow passageway descending into the earth. Heart pounding with excitement and a hint of nervousness, Faye stepped into the passage. The walls of the tunnel glowed with a soft blue light, illuminating her way. She followed the winding path, which seemed to lead deeper and deeper into the heart of the mountains. Finally, the tunnel opened up into a vast cavern. Faye gasped in wonder. The walls of the cavern were lined with enormous, shimmering crystals of every color imaginable. They reflected and refracted light, filling the space with a dazzling array of colors. In the center of the cavern stood a large, crystalline structure that pulsed with a gentle, rhythmic light, like a heartbeat. Faye knew at once that this must be the heart of the mountains. Magic. She approached the crystal structure reverently, feeling its energy resonating with her own. As she placed her hand on the smooth surface, a warm sensation spread through her body, and the cavern seemed to hum with life. Suddenly, a voice echoed in her mind. It was gentle and ancient, like the whisper of the wind through the trees. And quote, "Welcome, Faye," and quote, the voice said. And quote, "You have proven yourself worthy to stand before the heart of the enchanted mountains. You have shown courage, compassion, and a deep love for the magic of this land." And quote. Faye felt a wave of emotions, gratitude, joy, and a profound connection to the mountains. And quote, "What is this place?" And quote, she asked, her voice barely a whisper. And quote, "This is the Crystal Cavern, the source and sanctuary of the mountain's magic," and quote, the voice explained. And quote, "The crystals you see around you store the history, knowledge, and energy of this land. They protect the balance of magic and ensure its continued flow. Unquote. Faye listened intently, absorbing the information. Unquote. Why was I led here? Unquote. She asked. Unquote. Is there something I need to do? Unquote. The voice responded with warmth. Unquote. You were brought here because you have the potential to protect and nurture the magic of these mountains. The magic responds to those who cherish it and are willing to learn its ways. By coming here, you have shown that you are ready to take on this responsibility. Unquote. Faye felt a mixture of pride and awe. Unquote. I want to protect the mountains and their magic. Unquote. She said earnestly. Unquote. But how can I do that? Unquote. The crystals around her seemed to glow brighter as the voice continued. Unquote. Continue to explore, learn, and grow. Share your love for this land with others. The magic of the mountains thrives on joy, unity, and the bond between all living things. Trust in your heart, and you will always find your way. Unquote. As the voice faded, the cavern's light pulsed gently, as if affirming Faye's new role. She knew this was a moment she would never forget. The knowledge and power of the crystal cavern were now a part of her, a guiding force in her life. With a deep breath, Faye stepped back from the crystal structure. She felt a sense of peace and purpose settle over her. The journey to the cavern had been a test of her courage and determination, but it was also a beginning, a new chapter in her life as a guardian of the enchanted mountains. As she made her way back through the tunnel, the crystal's glow lighting her path, Faye felt a profound gratitude for the magic and beauty of the mountains. She emerged into the forest with a heart full of hope and a renewed commitment to protecting the land she loved. The sun was setting as Faye returned to the cottage, casting a golden light over the mountains. Granny Willow was waiting for her, a knowing smile on her face. Faye ran to her and hugged her tightly, feeling the warmth and love of her grandmother's embrace. Unquote. Welcome back, my brave girl. Unquote. Granny Willow whispered. Unquote. I knew you would find your way. Unquote. Faye smiled, feeling the weight of the day's discoveries and the promise of many more adventures to come. She was ready to embrace her new role and continue exploring the wonders of the enchanted mountains. The end of Chapter 5. Chapter 6. Chapter 6. Faye and the Celestial Festival. In the days following her visit to the Crystal Cavern, Faye felt a deeper connection to the enchanted mountains than ever before. She spent her time exploring the forests, valleys, and peaks, meeting new magical creatures, and learning more about the ancient lore of the land. But amidst her adventures, one particular event caught her attention: the Celestial Festival, a celebration that only occurred once every 100 years. Granny Willow explained that the Celestial Festival was a time when the magical energies of the mountains were at their peak, aligning with the stars in the night sky. During this rare event, the mountain's inhabitants gathered to honor the harmony between the earth and the heavens. It was a festival filled with music, dance, and a beautiful light show, known as the Starfall, where the stars seemed to cascade down from the sky, bathing the mountains in a magical glow. Faye was eager to witness the festival, as it promised to be an unforgettable experience. She helped Granny Willow prepare special treats for the occasion, and together they created beautiful lanterns to light the way to the festival grounds. As the day of the festival arrived, the air buzzed with excitement. Faye and Granny Willow joined the procession of villagers and magical beings making their way to a wide, open meadow surrounded by towering peaks. The meadow was transformed into a magical wonderland, with colorful banners, twinkling lights, and stalls offering delicious food and handcrafted trinkets. Faye marveled at the sight of fairies, elves, talking animals, and other magical creatures mingling with the villagers. In the center of the meadow stood a grand stage adorned with flowers and crystals. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the gathering, a group of musicians began playing enchanting melodies. The music was ethereal, weaving through the crowd and lifting everyone's spirits. Faye felt a rush of joy as she danced along with the music, her feet moving to the lively beat. As the sky darkened, the anticipation for the starfall grew. The villagers and magical creatures gathered in a circle around the stage, where an elderly elf, known as the Star Sage, stood ready to lead the ceremony. The Star Sage raised his hands, and a hush fell over the crowd. And quote, "Welcome, friends, to the Celestial Festival," and quote. The Star Sage began, his voice resonating with wisdom and warmth. And quote, "Tonight, we celebrate the harmony between our world and the stars above. The starfall is a reminder of the magic that connects us all, a time to renew our bonds and share our joy." End quote. He gestured to the sky, where the first stars began to twinkle. As the night deepened, the stars grew brighter, and the anticipation in the crowd heightened. Suddenly, the Star Sage lifted his staff, and the crystals on the stage began to glow with a soft, shimmering light. The music swelled, and Faye's heart raced with excitement. She watched in awe as the stars seemed to dance in the sky, their light growing more intense. Then, it happened. A cascade of shooting stars poured down from the heavens, streaking across the sky in a dazzling display. The crowd gasped in wonder as the stars appeared to fall gently toward the meadow, their light creating a magical, ethereal glow. As the starfall continued, something extraordinary happened. The light from the falling stars began to take shape, forming delicate patterns in the air. Faye saw images of legendary creatures, beautiful landscapes, and ancient symbols that seemed to tell the story of the enchanted mountains. The images danced and shimmered, filling the meadow with a radiant, otherworldly beauty. Faye felt a deep connection to the spectacle before her. It was as if the mountains themselves were sharing their secrets and history with everyone present. The light filled her with warmth and a profound sense of belonging. Suddenly, amidst the dancing lights, Faye noticed a familiar figure. It was the spirit of the Shadow Keeper, who had appeared in the hidden valley. But this time, the figure was different, no longer shrouded in darkness, but instead illuminated by the gentle glow of the stars. The Shadow Keeper's eyes, once filled with a haunting red light, now shone with a soft, peaceful blue. The figure approached Faye, and the crowd around her seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them standing amidst the celestial glow. The Shadow Keeper smiled, a serene expression on their face. And quote, "Thank you, Faye," and quote. The Shadow Keeper's voice echoed gently. And quote, "Your courage and kindness have freed me from the darkness that once bound me. The magic of the mountains has been restored, and I am at peace." And quote. Faye felt tears welling up in her eyes. And quote, "I'm so glad," and quote. she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. And quote, the mountains deserve to be a place of light and joy. And quote, the shadow keeper nodded. And quote, indeed. And now, as a guardian of this land, you will continue to protect and nurture its magic. The mountains have chosen you, and you have proven yourself worthy. And quote. With those words, the figure began to fade, merging with the surrounding light. The starfall continued, and the celestial patterns in the sky shimmered one last time before gently dissipating into the night. The crowd erupted in applause, their faces alight with wonder and joy. As the festival wound down, Faye felt a sense of fulfillment and happiness. She had witnessed the beauty of the celestial festival, reconnected with the spirit she had helped, and felt the magic of the mountains flow through her like never before. The night had been a celebration not only of the stars but also of the magic that bound them all together. With Granny Willow by her side, Faye walked back to their cozy cottage, the echoes of the festival's music still ringing in her ears. The mountains felt more magical than ever, and Faye knew that she had found her place among them. As she drifted off to sleep that night, she dreamed of stars and light, of ancient magic and new beginnings. The celestial festival had been a reminder of the endless wonders of the enchanted mountains, and Faye felt excited for all the adventures that lay ahead. The end of Chapter 6. Chapter 7. Chapter 7. Faye and the Melody of the Wind. After the enchanting celestial festival, life in the enchanted mountains returned to its gentle rhythm. Faye continued to explore the wonders of the land, each day bringing new discoveries and deepening her bond with the magical world around her. The villagers admired her bravery and kindness, and the magical creatures greeted her with warm familiarity. One day, as Faye wandered through a meadow dotted with colorful wildflowers, she heard a strange yet beautiful sound. It was a melody, soft and elusive, carried on the wind. The tune was unlike anything she had ever heard. Sweet and haunting, it seemed to call to her, urging her to follow. Curious, Faye closed her eyes and listened closely. The melody was faint but clear, and it filled her with a sense of longing and mystery. Determined to find its source, she set off in the direction from which the wind was blowing, her heart beating in time with the ethereal music. The path led her through thick forests, across bubbling streams, and up rocky slopes. As she climbed higher into the mountains, the air grew cooler, and the melody became stronger, wrapping around her like a gentle embrace. Faye felt a deep connection to the song, as if it were a part of the mountains themselves. After several hours of walking, she reached a high, narrow pass between two peaks. The wind blew fiercely here, and the melody was at its most intense, echoing off the cliffs. Faye spotted a narrow, winding trail that seemed to lead to a hidden grove nestled between the mountains. She took a deep breath and followed the path. The grove was a serene and magical place, filled with ancient trees whose leaves rustled softly in the wind. At the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree, its trunk twisted and gnarled with age. This tree was different from any Faye had seen before. Its leaves shimmered with a silvery sheen, and a soft, luminous glow emanated from within its bark. As Faye approached the tree, the melody reached a crescendo, filling the grove with its haunting beauty. She noticed that the wind seemed to be playing through the branches of the tree, creating the enchanting music. The tree's leaves danced in the breeze, producing a sound like 1,000 tiny bells chiming in harmony. Faye placed her hand on the tree's trunk, feeling its cool, smooth surface. The moment she touched it, the melody changed, becoming more complex and intricate. Faye closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. It felt as though the tree was speaking to her, sharing its wisdom and the stories it had witnessed over the centuries. Suddenly, a voice, soft and melodic, echoed in her mind. And quote, "Welcome, young guardian." And quote, the voice sang. And quote, "You have found the tree of the winds, the source of the mountain's melodies and the keeper of ancient songs." And quote, Faye's eyes widened in awe. And quote, "The tree of the winds." And quote, she whispered, feeling a deep reverence for the majestic tree. And quote, "What is its purpose?" And quote, the voice responded with a gentle warmth. And quote, "The tree of the winds holds the music of the mountains, a melody that carries the stories and emotions of this land. It is a bridge between the physical and the magical, a reminder of the harmony that binds all living things. The wind plays through its branches, creating songs that tell tales of joy, sorrow, hope, and love." And quote, Faye listened, mesmerized. She felt a profound connection to the tree and its music, as if it were sharing the very soul of the enchanted mountains with her. And quote, "Is there something I'm meant to do here?" And quote, she asked softly. And quote, "The melody of the winds has been growing fainter." And quote, the voice explained. And quote, "A shadow has touched the mountains, dimming the song. You have the gift to restore the harmony. Use your magic and your heart to amplify the melody, to bring back the full beauty of the song." And quote, Faye nodded, understanding the importance of her task. She took a deep breath and focused on the music around her. She thought about all the magical places she had visited, the creatures she had met, and the joy she felt living in the enchanted mountains. She let these feelings flow through her, channeling them into her own magic. Slowly, Faye began to hum along with the melody, adding her voice to the wind's song. As she did, she felt a warm, tingling sensation in her fingertips, and a soft glow surrounded her. The wind picked up, swirling around the grove and carrying her voice along with it. The leaves of the tree of the winds shimmered brighter, and the melody grew richer and more vibrant. Faye's voice rose, blending seamlessly with the wind's song. The grove seemed to come alive, the trees swaying in rhythm, their leaves rustling like a chorus. The melody filled the air, resonating through the mountains and beyond. It was a song of unity and love, a celebration of the magic that connected all things. As the last notes of the melody faded, a peaceful silence settled over the grove. Faye felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. The tree of the winds glowed softly, its leaves shimmering with a renewed brightness. The voice spoke once more, filled with gratitude. And quote, "You have restored the harmony, young guardian. The melody of the winds will once again echo through the mountains, reminding all who hear it of the magic and beauty of this land. Thank you." And quote, Faye smiled, her heart full. And quote, "I'm honored to have been a part of this." And quote, she said. And quote, "The enchanted mountains are my home, and I'll do everything I can to protect and cherish them." And quote, as she prepared to leave the grove, the wind gently tousled her hair, carrying with it a faint, lingering melody. Faye knew that the song would continue, a constant reminder of the magic that filled the mountains. With a final, grateful glance at the Tree of the Winds, she made her way back down the path. The journey back felt lighter, the air filled with a renewed sense of magic. Faye hummed the melody she had helped restore, feeling its power and joy resonating within her. She knew that the mountain's magic was stronger than ever, and that the song of the winds would continue to inspire and uplift all who heard it. As she returned to the village, Faye felt a deep contentment. The enchanted mountains held endless wonders, and she was grateful for the opportunity to explore and protect them. She knew that there would always be new adventures and challenges, but with her love for the land and the magic that flowed through it, she was ready for whatever lay ahead. The end of Chapter 7. Plot twist. Chapter 8 Chapter 8. The Forgotten Guardian. The summer days continued to unfold in the enchanted mountains, each filled with new wonders and discoveries. Faye felt more at home than ever, her bond with the magical land growing deeper. Yet, as she wandered through the familiar paths and meadows, a peculiar sensation began to stir in her, a feeling that something was missing or left unspoken. One morning, Faye set out to visit the Tree of the Winds, eager to hear its song once more. As she reached the grove, she noticed something strange. The usual vibrant glow of the tree seemed dimmer, and the melody, though still beautiful, carried a note of sadness. Concerned, Faye approached the tree, placing her hand on its bark. The voice of the Tree of the Winds, usually warm and reassuring, spoke to her with an undertone of sorrow. And quote, "The harmony has been restored, but there is a deeper secret, a truth long forgotten. You, young guardian, are not the only one who protects these mountains." Unquote. Faye felt a chill run down her spine. Unquote. "What do you mean? Is there someone else?" Unquote. The voice sighed softly. Unquote. "Long ago, another guardian was chosen by the mountains. A powerful being, tasked with maintaining balance and harmony. But something went wrong. The guardian was betrayed and forgotten, their spirit trapped and their story erased from memory. The shadow that you sensed, it's their sorrow and anger, echoing through the mountains." Unquote. Faye's heart ached at the thought of a forgotten guardian, trapped and alone. Unquote. "How can I help them?" Unquote. She asked, determined to set things right. Unquote. "You must find the place where their spirit is bound." Unquote. The voice explained. Unquote. "It lies in a hidden realm, deep beneath the mountains. The path to this realm is treacherous, guarded by powerful enchantments and ancient creatures. But you have the strength and the magic to reach it. Once there, you must listen to the Guardian's story and help them find peace." Unquote. Faye nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. This was a task unlike any she had faced before. The idea of a hidden realm beneath the mountains intrigued her. But the thought of facing a betrayed and possibly vengeful guardian was daunting. Nevertheless, she knew she had to try. The next morning, Faye prepared for her journey, packing supplies and gathering her courage. She made her way to the base of the mountains, where Granny Willow awaited her. Faye shared the revelation of the forgotten guardian, and Granny Willow's face grew serious. Unquote. "Be careful, my dear." Unquote. Granny Willow warned. Unquote. "The forgotten guardians' pain may have twisted their spirit. You must approach with compassion and understanding. Listen to their story, and remember, they were once a protector like you." And quote. Faye hugged Granny Willow tightly, feeling a surge of strength from her grandmother's embrace. And quote. "I will," and quote. She promised, setting off with a determined heart. Following the guidance of the Tree of the Winds, Faye made her way to a secluded cave entrance hidden beneath a waterfall. As she stepped inside, the air grew colder, and the light dimmed. The cave seemed to stretch endlessly, winding deeper into the mountain. Faye felt a strange pull, guiding her through the darkness. After hours of walking, she arrived at an enormous underground cavern. The air was heavy with magic, and the walls glimmered faintly with crystals. In the center of the cavern stood a massive stone statue, depicting a majestic figure with wings outstretched, their expression fierce yet regal. Faye realized this must be the likeness of the forgotten guardian. As she approached, a faint, ghostly figure appeared beside the statue. It was a tall being, their form ethereal and translucent, with eyes filled with a deep, haunting sadness. The air around them seemed to thrum with a dark energy. The figure's voice echoed through the cavern, filled with bitterness and sorrow. And quote. "Who dares enter this sacred place? Who dares disturb my eternal vigil?" And quote. Faye took a deep breath, her voice steady. And quote. "I am Faye, a guardian of the Enchanted Mountains. I came to listen to your story and offer my help. I want to restore the peace and harmony of this land." And quote. The figure regarded her with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. And quote. "Faye, I have heard of you, the child who walks with magic. But how can you help? I was betrayed and forgotten, my purpose lost. My spirit is bound here, unable to rest." And quote. Faye felt a pang of empathy. And quote. "Tell me what happened." And quote. She urged gently. And quote. "Let me understand your pain." And quote. The figure hesitated, then began to speak. And quote. "I was once the guardian of these mountains, chosen to protect the magic and maintain balance. But long ago, a dark force sought to seize the mountain's power. I fought to defend this land, but in the battle, I was betrayed by those I trusted. They feared my power, and in their fear, they imprisoned me here, erasing my memory from the hearts of the people." And quote. Faye listened, her heart heavy with the weight of the guardian's words. And quote. "That must have been so lonely." And quote. She murmured. And quote. "I'm sorry that happened to you. But I believe there is still hope. You can find peace, and we can honor your story." And quote. The figure's expression softened slightly. And quote. "You are kind, young guardian. But how can I trust again? How can I forgive those who condemned me to this fate?" And quote. Faye stepped closer, her voice filled with compassion. And quote. "Forgiveness is a path to freedom. It doesn't mean forgetting what happened, but it can release you from the pain of the past. Let me help you. Together, we can bring your story to light, and you can finally find rest." And quote. The figure closed their eyes, a silent tear tracing down their ethereal cheek. And quote. "I want to believe you." And quote. They whispered. And quote. "I have longed for release from this torment. If you truly wish to help, then place your hand upon the statue. Share your magic and your heart with me, and let us see if the bonds can be broken." And quote. Faye nodded, her resolve strengthening. She placed her hand on the cold stone of the statue, feeling the dark energy pulse through her. Closing her eyes, she focused on her love for the mountains, the joy of their magic, and the hope for a brighter future. She channeled these feelings into her magic, sending a warm, glowing light into the statue. The cavern filled with a blinding light, and the air hummed with a powerful energy. The ghostly figure let out a soft gasp, their form flickering. Slowly, the dark energy began to dissipate, replaced by a warm, golden glow. The figure's expression changed from sorrow to relief, and the oppressive atmosphere in the cavern lifted. The figure looked at Faye, gratitude shining in their eyes. "And quot? You have done it, and quot?" They breathed. "And quot? You have freed me from my bonds. Thank you, brave guardian. The mountains are in good hands with you." And quot? Faye smiled, tears of relief and joy in her eyes. "And quot? I'm glad I could help. Your story will not be forgotten. We will honor your memory and learn from the past." And quot? The figure nodded, their form growing fainter. And quot? Go now, and continue to protect this land. May the mountain's magic always guide you. And quot? With a final, grateful smile, the figure vanished, leaving behind only a faint, lingering warmth. The statue glowed softly, a symbol of the Guardian's release and the restoration of peace. As Faye made her way back to the surface, she felt a deep sense of accomplishment and a renewed commitment to her role as a guardian. The mountains were safe, and the forgotten guardian's spirit was finally at rest. She knew that the journey ahead would still hold challenges, but with the support of the mountain's magic and the lessons she had learned, she was ready to face whatever came next. The enchanted mountains had revealed another of their secrets, and Faye felt honored to be a part of their story. She would continue to explore, protect, and cherish this magical land, knowing that the past and present were intertwined in the melodies of the wind and the whispers of the trees. The end of Chapter 8. Chapter 9. The Echoes of the Forgotten. With the forgotten guardian's spirit at peace, the enchanted mountains felt lighter, their magic more vibrant. Faye resumed her daily routines with renewed energy, deeply aware of her role in preserving the balance and harmony of this magical land. The villagers and magical creatures rejoiced in the restored tranquility, and the whispers of the Tree of the Winds carried a hopeful melody through the mountains. One crisp autumn day, Faye received an unexpected visitor. A small, shimmering creature flitted into her garden. It was a star sprite, no taller than Faye's hand, with delicate wings that sparkled like constellations. The sprite landed gently on a flower and looked up at Faye with wide, luminous eyes. And quot? Greetings, Faye, and quot? The sprite said in a voice like the tinkling of tiny bells. And quot? I am Lumina, a messenger of the starlight. The time has come for you to receive a new task. And quot? Faye knelt down to the sprite's level, intrigued. And quot? A new task? What do you need me to do? And quot? Lumina fluttered her wings, sending out a trail of twinkling light. And quot? There is a disturbance in the balance of the stars. The celestial alignment that was restored during the celestial festival has been disrupted. A dark force seeks to obscure the stars, and with them, the magic of the mountains is threatened. And quot? Faye's heart quickened. And quot? What can I do to help? And quot? Lumina's eyes glimmered with concern. And quot? You must journey to the Starforge, a hidden sanctuary where the stars are born and nurtured. There, you will find the celestial orb, the source of the star's light. It has been stolen and hidden by the dark force. Without it, the stars will fade, and the balance will be lost. And quote. Faye stood up, determination filling her. And quote. I'll find the Starforge and retrieve the celestial orb. Where do I start? And quote. Lumina gestured towards the mountains, her wings fluttering like a beacon. And quote. Follow the path of the starlight. It will lead you to the entrance of the Starforge. Beware, for the dark force has set many trials to protect its stolen prize. And quote. Faye thanked Lumina and set off immediately, her mind racing with thoughts of the Starforge and the celestial orb. As she trekked through the mountains, she noticed a subtle, shimmering trail in the air, guiding her way. The starlight path was faint but persistent, illuminating her journey. The path led her to a hidden valley she had never explored before. At its center stood a majestic archway made of interwoven vines and crystals, bathed in a soft, silver glow. Faye stepped through the archway and found herself in a breathtaking, otherworldly realm. The Starforge was a vast, luminous space filled with floating islands and streams of stardust. The sky above was a swirling canvas of stars and nebulae, and the ground was covered in glistening, ethereal flowers. In the distance, Faye could see a grand, crystal palace, its spires reaching towards the stars. As she approached the palace, she encountered a series of trials, each more challenging than the last. The first trial was a labyrinth of mirrors that distorted the reflections of the stars. Faye used her intuition and her knowledge of the mountain's magic to navigate through the maze, finding the true path amidst the illusions. The second trial was a bridge made of shimmering stardust that constantly shifted and changed. Faye had to trust her instincts and balance to cross the bridge safely. With each step, she focused on the steady rhythm of her heartbeat and the guiding light of the stars. The final trial took place in the heart of the palace, where Faye faced a shadowy figure cloaked in darkness. The figure's eyes glowed with a menacing red light, and their presence radiated a chilling cold. It was the dark force that had stolen the celestial orb. And quote. You cannot stop me. And quote. The dark force growled, its voice echoing with malevolent power. And quote. The stars will fade, and the magic of the mountains will be lost forever. And quote. Faye stood her ground, her heart resolute. And quote. I will not let you succeed. The balance of the mountains and the stars must be preserved. And quote. With a burst of courage, Faye summoned the magic of the mountains and the starlight that had guided her. She focused her energy on creating a shield of light, protecting herself from the dark force's attacks. As the dark force advanced, Faye's shield absorbed the shadows, reflecting the light back with renewed strength. The battle was fierce, but Faye's determination and the light of her magic prevailed. With a final surge of energy, she shattered the dark force's defenses and reclaimed the celestial orb. The dark figure let out a cry of defeat as the shadows around them dissipated, and they vanished into the void. With the celestial orb in hand, Faye felt a wave of relief and triumph. The orb was a radiant sphere of pure, shimmering light, pulsating with the rhythm of the stars. As she held it, the starlight in the Starforge grew brighter, restoring the balance and harmony of the realm. Faye made her way back through the trials, her heart light with the knowledge that she had succeeded in her task. The starlight path led her safely back to the hidden valley, where Lumina awaited her. And quote, "You have done it, Faye," and quote, Lumina said, her wings fluttering in delight. And quote, "The celestial orb is restored, and the stars will shine brightly once more. The balance is saved." And quote, Faye smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. And quote, "I couldn't have done it without the guidance of the starlight and the support of the enchanted mountains." And quote. As Lumina bid her farewell, Faye returned to her home in the village. The stars above twinkled brightly, their light casting a gentle glow over the land. The magic of the mountains and the stars was strong once again, and Faye knew that she had played a crucial role in preserving it. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit renewed by her adventure, Faye looked forward to the future. She knew that there would always be new challenges and mysteries to explore, but she was ready to face them with courage and hope. The enchanted mountains had revealed yet another layer of their magic, and Faye was honored to be the guardian. The stars shone brightly in the night sky, a testament to the harmony that she had helped restore, and a promise of the many adventures still to come. The end of Chapter 9. Cliffhanger. Chapter 10 ### Chapter 10. The Mysterious Key. The days following Faye's triumphant return were filled with joy and celebration. The enchanted mountains were thriving once more, their magic vibrant and strong. Faye felt a deep sense of peace as she walked through the village, the starlight twinkling above like a promise of more adventures to come. One evening, while exploring a quiet glade near her home, Faye stumbled upon something unusual. Hidden beneath a blanket of fallen leaves, she found an ancient, ornate chest. Its surface was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons, and it glowed faintly in the moonlight. Faye's heart raced with excitement as she carefully opened the chest. Inside, she found a delicate silver key resting on a bed of velvet. The key was unlike anything she had ever seen. Its handle was shaped like a crescent moon, and it shimmered with an otherworldly light. As Faye picked up the key, she felt a strange, tingling sensation run through her fingers. It seemed to pulse with a hidden power. Curious and intrigued, Faye turned the key over in her hands, examining it closely. The carvings on the key matched the designs on the chest, and she wondered if there was a lock somewhere that it might fit. She looked around, but the glade seemed empty, offering no clues about a possible lock. Just then, a soft, whispering breeze rustled through the trees, carrying with it a faint, haunting melody that seemed to beckon her. Faye felt an inexplicable pull towards the sound, as if the key and the melody were somehow connected. She followed the melody deeper into the woods, her heart pounding with anticipation. The sound grew stronger, more insistent, leading her to a hidden, ancient archway partially concealed by vines and moss. The archway was adorned with mysterious symbols that matched those on the key. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Faye approached the archway and inserted the key into a small, concealed lock embedded in the arch's frame. The key fit perfectly, and as she turned it, a soft, golden light began to emanate from the archway. The symbols glowed, and the vines slowly retracted, revealing a dark passageway beyond. Faye took a deep breath and stepped into the passage, the light from the archway fading behind her. The passage was narrow and winding, its walls lined with ancient carvings that seemed to tell a story. As she ventured further, the air grew colder, and the light from her lantern flickered in the darkness. Suddenly, the passage opened into a vast underground chamber. The chamber was filled with towering shelves of dusty, ancient books and scrolls, and at its center stood a massive, intricately carved pedestal. On the pedestal rested a large, ornate book bound in dark leather, its cover embossed with a glowing symbol that matched the key's crescent moon design. Faye approached the pedestal with a mix of awe and apprehension. As she reached for the book, a voice echoed through the chamber, ancient and resonant. And quote, "Welcome, seeker of truths. You have unlocked the gate to the forgotten library, a place of ancient knowledge and hidden secrets." End quote. Faye's hand hovered above the book, her mind racing with questions. And quote, "What is this place? What secrets does it hold?" End quote. The voice responded, and quote, "The Forgotten Library holds the history of the Enchanted Mountains and the truths that have been lost to time. But be warned, knowledge comes with a price. Those who seek the secrets of the past must be prepared to face the shadows that guard them." End quote. Before Faye could react, the chamber trembled, and the walls began to shift and change. The shelves of books rattled, and the air grew thick with a swirling mist. A dark, menacing presence seemed to emerge from the shadows, its form barely visible but unmistakably ominous. The voice returned, more urgent now. And quote, "Beware, young guardian. The trials of the Forgotten Library are not for the faint of heart. Only those with true courage and wisdom can navigate its challenges and uncover the truths it holds." End quote. As the mist thickened and the shadows swirled around her, Faye braced herself for whatever lay ahead. The mysteries of the Forgotten Library were just beginning to unfold, and the key she had found was only the first step in a journey that would test her in ways she could not yet imagine. As the chamber's darkness deepened and the trials loomed before her, Faye took a deep breath and prepared to face the unknown. The adventure was far from over, and the Enchanted Mountains held more secrets than she could have ever imagined. To be continued in the next book. The Enchanted Mountains, The Secrets of the Forgotten Library.